Okay, the time is now 6:30. I'm going to call the Town of Delafield Board of Supervisors meeting for September 23rd, 2025 to order at 6:30 p.m. Stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Third order of business is the consideration and possible action to select and appoint an interim chairman to serve until the chairman resumes his official duties per the Town of Delafield Municipal Code 2.06. If an interim chairman is not selected, the meeting will adjourn. I would entertain a motion for a interim chairperson and then a second, please.
I move to appoint Supervisor Wolfley as the interim chair to serve until Chairman Kranick returns per Town of Delafield Municipal Code 2.06.
Looking for a second.
I second.
Thank you. All right, we have motion and a second to appoint Supervisor Wolfley as the interim chairman to serve until Chairman Kranick returns per the Town of Delafield Municipal Code 2.06. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. I
Okay.
was just going to, previous I was trying to ask is just, are you interested in the position? That was, okay, that was fun.
All right.
Happy to help.
Any opposed? Unanimously carried. Thank you. Supervisor Wolfley, if you'll take the center chair, please.
Perfect. And if we could get a roll call, please.
All right. Supervisor Mahoney-Ogden.
Present.
Supervisor Miller.
Here.
Interim Chairman Wolfley.
Present.
Supervisor Berkowitz.
Present.
Thank you.
Order number 5, any citizen comments, public comments from citizens regarding items on or not on the agenda. The board may not engage in discussion with the citizens making the comments. Individual presentations are limited to 3 minutes, and citizens shall follow the rules set forth in section 2.04, paren 1, paren D of the town code.
Terry Mahoney Ogden, board supervisor, but also a quick update on the Pewaukee Lake Advisory Committee. We had just the other day, just a couple highlights. There was just a quick review of the wake surf education. Again, this was not an ordinance. It was just more of a means of education to let the community know whether you're on the lake or not on the lake, or about where is the proper place to wake surf on Pewaukee Lake. So we did a quick review of that, and in general, things we realized were there was a better acceptance, and again, it's not perfect, but I think all in all, moving in the right direction, and that is the update on wake surfing. We also talked about having on the lake something where citizens, if they're out on the water when it's freezing, when lake is frozen, for water rescue. I think some of that was due to the unfortunate fatality we had on the lake last year with open water. And so there was much discussion, and we're moving forward with that. There was originally talk that maybe we would just put some boxes in certain stations around the lake that people could get at if they're out ice fishing to, maybe grab a rope or a throwable. Problem with that is it may start melting into the lake. So we're kind of still working on that, but perhaps even just some poles with a box on them at the boat launches and maybe another site. There was discussion that maybe friendly neighbors, even on their shoreline or on a tree, would be willing to hang something like a bright orange throwable just for people out on the lake. So we're moving forward, hopefully by this season, to have something out there to help any potential unfortunate incidents that may happen on the water. And then the other thing we talked about was the aerators. And again, that's a discussion that's going to probably happen over years to come. But we did officially, as a group, adopt the ordinance, which is really what the state of Wisconsin already has, to make it something so that the police can at least follow up on aerators that are improperly installed and causing safety issues and other problems to potential neighbors. So we're not banning or promoting aerators. It's just that there's a code that they have to follow, saying how they have to be placed, where they can be placed, and the do's and the don'ts of how to do aeration. So we did adopt that. Again, it's not an ordinance, but we did adopt basically what the state of Wisconsin already has. That's my update. Thank you.
Any other citizen comments? No? All right, we'll move on to the approval of minutes from the September 9th, 2025 regular town board meeting.
A motion to approve the September 9th town board minutes. A second.
A motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Approval of vouchers. I'd like to make a motion to approve payroll check register dated September 26th, 2025 in the amount of $16,854.29. Payroll check register dated August 29th, 2025 in the amount of $15,138.72. And check register for checks 68941 and 68965, September 19th of 2025, amount of $193,027.67.
Second.
Motion and a second.
Aye.
Favor? Aye?
Aye.
All right, aye. Passed around. Eighth order of business, communications, the update on the Highway 83 resurfacing project and September budget to actual. If you'd like to take that one over, we'll be happy to do that.
The most recent communication for Highway 83 is in your packet and gives a really nice breakdown of the next couple of weeks of what they're going to be doing. The most excited portion for everybody seems to be the traffic signal installation that's happening in the first full week of October, indicating that the project is well on its way to being completed, hopefully by the second full week of October. So,
Fantastic. And then September budget to actual.
So now that we're getting to the end of the year on the budget to actual, we're still looking good. Some of the items that might draw some attention is that one of our part-time people was included in the full-time line. So those two lines are going to kind of offset each other. There's a couple of other things like that in the budget. So as we get closer to the end and the percentages look a little wonky, I'll be giving you guys a better explanation of what offsets where and what we're going to change for 2026.
Any questions? Wonderful. Ninth order of business, unfinished business, consideration of an ordinance to create section 9.16 of the Town of Delafield Municipal Code to prohibit truancy. We'd previously chatted on this back in August 26th of 2025. So we're looking to, it looks like we have a few more people to give us a little bit more heads up on what that looks like. So if you guys want to kick off any questions, discussion, and then we can let you guys take the floor. So
we should ask our questions first. I know I talked to, who did I? Yeah, okay.
If you are going to speak, we are going to have you come up to the microphone and just address like who you are and so forth. So.
And again, remind me, sorry, I know it's Jamie, but what is your official, your just deputy. Okay, deputy. And I just had some questions because and again, maybe you guys should talk first because it sounds like some of my information we already talked about who has them or not. My question was, I don't want to be the only one out here doing it if. Because our schools go in all these different municipalities. Arrowhead many of our Town of Delafield people live in Arrowhead. Arrowhead never returned my calls. I did talk to the Town of Merton. So I have their ordinance, which it looks a lot like what's being drafted, but that's already like what the state is. So I think we just need some clarification. Because I think they just have what the state has as opposed to something special. So then I called Pewaukee School District. And so they had something specifically set for them. And I know that doesn't necessarily affect us, but just how they dealt with it. They had something specifically set for them. I talked to the Village of Wales, where Kettle Moraine School District is, because I know that's kind of why this started. But again, we are in Arrowhead too, so I just feel like we should get all of us together to make sure we're all on the same page, that we don't have one kind of different ordinance and somebody else has a different one. So that's my biggest thing. And my understanding was, and I'm just hearing different things on this, and I know from what we talked, but I've also got another opinion from Pewaukee, was that, so the example is, Kettle Moraine is in Village of Wales. So Village of Wales has an ordinance. The understanding was, at least, like, for instance, one of the other communities was the understanding is wherever the school is, it gives you, the sheriff, the ability to take care of the situation because they already have an ordinance. And I know you said it's not quite the same if that student happened to be in the Town of Delafield. I don't think we should create an ordinance for one student, maybe. And that was my other worry, if of just creating a big ordinance. I just don't want to over-govern. If they're, again, we want to support you, and education's important. So not saying education's important. So those are my two things. I just think we should be consistent with what our other communities are doing. And if there already is an ordinance where the school is located, then isn't that good enough? So, and then my last thing, just to mention from a price standpoint, is when, let's just say something happens, and so there's a notice and a ticket, and we go to court. What I'm learning from is that sometimes it gets expensive for the, let's just say it will be the town, because then we have to send our town attorney, and then sometimes the school district may say, you know what, it's kind of far, or we don't really want to send anybody, so then we're paying to, so I've been told to think about that. Is it worth what we're going to maybe have to incur if we do have to go to court because there's a ticket, and then we need to send our attorney to represent the town? So, thoughts? You guys can respond to that, and I'd love to hear anybody else, but I just made a bunch of calls and just trying to get a little more information to make sure we make the right
So
decision.
basically, what our overall goal is with this is to get kids into school. This isn't something that we're going to be looking at doing in regards to every little thing that a kid is being truant on. Our goal at CAM has always been is to get the students into their seats. Now, Wales does have the ordinance. Ordinance is pretty much similar to what is being presented to you tonight that Wales has passed. But for the most part, what we're looking to do is that if we have those instances where we're at home and the kid is refusing, that child is refusing to come to school, we have that tool that's available to us. And like I said, it's a process for CAM that we take very seriously. And it isn't something that we more or less are going out there and writing every child, a truancy ticket. It takes a while for us to get to the level of actually writing that ticket. That's why I brought along with me Justin Bester, who is the principal from Kettle Moraine High School, and Steve Plum, who is the superintendent of Kettle Moraine School District, and then my partner who's over at the middle school, Alyssa Katani. So what we're trying to accomplish here is to get something on the books to be able to help us put another tool in the toolbox to get these kids that are truant. And we're not talking kids that are 10 days, 15 days. We're talking these kids that are missing 25, 30, 40 in some instances, even more, to get them back into the classroom. That's what the overall goal is to get these kids into the classroom where they need, get them the help that they need as well.
How much of an issue is this? How many cases do you act on in a given school year?
You can take one and pass it through. So in our district, we have a school social worker as well to help in these kind of the 1% cases, the students that have some pretty intense things going on at home for whatever that case might be, and or attendance. So as you can see here, these are kids from 6th to 12th grade that have occurred over 80% attendance or below. Obviously, our goal is to get as close to 100% as possible for school attendance. Last year, we were at 95. As a collective district, we'd like to maybe be that at 97%. But these are the kids, then there's 17 of them from 6th grade to 12th grade that missed, and you can see in the middle column how many days of school that they missed over the course of the year. Now, all of these kids are a unique individual story. Some of them have some significant family trauma. Some of them have significant health issues that cause these number of days. But of these 17, and I work at the high school, I couldn't speak to the, on the right side of the dash, it says charter, high school, or middle school, MS, those acronyms there. So I couldn't speak to the middle school stories as much as I can to the high school stories. But we would have probably issued, if we could, probably 9 citations out of this list of kids. The struggle that we are running into is that we first work through the county. And unfortunately, the county has not been as supportive as we would like. We have worked at length with them and some school partners to do committee work and to do conversations in my office and have conversations at the county level. Their philosophy is a little different than ours, okay? So we are looking to maybe go to the municipal level to try to find that avenue that after our amazing counselor team has done their work, I've sat down with parents and we've tried to find that. We've done all the little school consequences and policies and tips and tricks that work from building relationships with these families and students. And yet maybe the result is still not happening, where a kid is refusing to come to school. And what do we have at our disposal at that point when all the things that we've done as a school just are not yet effective? We would like to have something with a little bit more that comes at the municipal or county level. And that is where we're looking for that support from all those municipalities that our district works with and seeing what we can do to make sure that we have some standing, that the community supports it, us as a district support it, and get those results that we're looking for, that if that's the final thing that gets the kid to come to school, we would like to be able to have that enforcement if we can with it, because right now, we do everything we can, and sometimes that works with these students. But then sometimes there's just these few situations that take a lot of our time, take a lot of the family time, a lot of resources, and if we could have one more piece that comes from the municipal level, that would be extremely helpful. And I couldn't speak, Arrowhead, this is the same story. Their list of kids and their stories are probably the exact same. Mugwanago, Pewaukee, whoever you would talk to. Again, we live in a great area with great kids and great schools, so we're not talking about 100 kids here, but of those top kids that we are working with and families, it does take up a significant amount of time to work through their unique situation.
One of the things, I mean, we've tried as a team here, I mean, we've tried getting an ordinance passed through the county multiple times, and that their truancy ordinance at the county level dates back to 1980. It needs to be updated, and we've tried our attempts in regards to Washington County Board to approve updated ordinance.
And you can, the last two bullet points on that sheet point out what we've done, and in some cases, we've even paused working with that county level because we have issued truancy tickets, and in the terminology, it would be like counseled and closed. They met with the family, they talked with the kid, and they closed the case. We've already done that. We've done all the things that we can do with, because we know the family, we have the relationship, we know the backstory, we've worked at length with them, and we're coming to you because this is kind of our next best effort. And if we kind of just go back to the beginning of meet with the family, learn the story, and then close it out and say, yep, just keep working with the school, that's ineffective. And we actually did have one that got all the way to the court system, and then they threw it out.
They dismissed it?
Yes.
So that's kind of, I guess, yeah, so I'm still struggling with this. So if you're going to have our blessing to go in and ticket them, and does the social worker, is there any evidence that says that's going to make a significant difference? I guess that's all
What's the follow-up?
Yeah.
So say you guys do the job.
Yep.
They graduate. Congratulations. We got 100% at KM who graduate. What's next? What happens to them after? What's the follow-up? What do we know? What success do we have?
You're talking post-high school.
Yeah. Wait, I mean, now they're 18. They're on their own. What do we know? What have we done? What have we solved? Other than we have better attendance at KM.
Getting a child through high school, getting them graduate, getting them that diploma helps them in the work field as they get out, or if they decide to get into, whether it be college or decide they want to get in, what do you call that?
That's all undeniable. I'm just asking,
Correct.
what do we know? Do we have statistics that say when we, for these 9 or 10 cases, great things have happened year after year after year? Do we really have statistics?
Specific numbers? No. But can I tell you that in some instances in my 11 years at Kettle Moraine, have things that we've done, taking kids who've been down at the bottom and see success? Absolutely.
I know we all want the best. How about,
Can I
Please.
just ask one question before we continue, so we're all on the same page? I'm looking at those numbers here, and I see 17 lines. Is it 17 students?
These are the 17 students that are below the 80% attendance.
Okay. So you said about 9 citations?
We would have, of those 17, and I would have to subtract the MS ones, the middle school, because I don't know those students. But of the ones that go to school in the high school, of the 17 cases, I probably would have issued 9 citations, attempted to. Some of them I know it's significant health. I'm not going to issue a citation for a kid who's at Freighter because they have significant health concerns. But
So
different
how
stories where we work with the families, we try to work on things, and the families say, yeah, we're working on it, we'll get it figured out, and another week goes by and they missed a whole nother week of school. In those cases where we pull them from the volleyball team, we pull them from those extracurriculars, we take away the homecoming dance, we do all those tricks that we can do at the high school, and the results are still not occurring. This is where we would like to see that next possibility, and right now, it's there. In terms of, like, it's on the books, we can do this with the county, but the follow-through is just not happening. We're looking for that next group to help us with that.
So my next question is, and I do not want to minimize the impact that those absences have on the rest of the population of students, but how many students do we have total between the high school, middle school, and the district?
We have 1,300 at the high school,
Plus 710 at the middle school.
Okay,
so around 2,000.
2,000, okay, thank you.
I was gonna ask about parent involvement for these 17 students. How many cases do you see, and we can take these 17 specific, where it's the parents reaching out saying, I'm at wit's end, I can't do any more, step in?
Just had that phone call this morning for a student who's not on this list, but would be a new person that we're adding, that they've done all the things, the phone's taken away, the car's taken away, the other things at home that you would do as a parent, and they are calling because it is a fight every morning to get the child up and out of the house to come to school. So we've gone on home visits before. We show up to the house to say, let's go, come on. Yep.
Is it the norm, though? Is it the norm
Again-
where the parents and you have a good relationship, or is it the norm where the parents are uninvolved and therefore the student
Even at the
is?
grade school level, we'll have that where the parents are not engaging, and home visits and stuff, it doesn't, you know, getting the child to school in some instances, and the accommodations we try to offer and whatever else to get the child to school. So out of that group, yeah, there's a handful that the parents aren't engaging in, and it's more, our opinion, would be the parents' responsibility, the parents' fault. And not having anything to go after the parents and saying, look, you need to get your child to school. And the kid, you know, the child gets to school and they're just thrilled to be there. And it's amazing when they get to school and sometimes the parents just do what, they're not being parents.
But I think
So it
that's. what we-
sounds like this is more, so you're saying if you had the ability, you would have issued 9, like if the town of Delafield said, you go for it, you would have taken 9, you've been able to have issued 9 citations. Because I'm hearing two things. Sometimes the kid just won't go, but then if the parents go to work, they can't make their kids, it's the parents' fault. I'm still,
Right,
just,
it could be either or.
Each
so
case
you
is
really
unique.
think that charging them is gonna, I guess, it sounds like I'm not saying it's not a problem. It sounds like we've got a problem with this small group. I don't know, is that really the answer if they're gonna be charged a fee? I mean, you've been doing everything else you
Yeah,
can.
we do know, again, I don't have specific data for you, but just doing my job for a number of years now, whether it's parking lot issues and they get a ticket from him and they have to go to municipal court because they were being teenagers in the parking lot, we do see results. Again, they may or may not care about playing in the football game on Friday. They may or may not care about the dance, or they may or may not care about their 4 hours of custodial service with me after school. But we know when they have to stand in front of a group of people that they don't know, and that system is pretty daunting and professional looking, and they stand in front of a judge and they ask the same questions we ask all the time. Why aren't you going to school? How are you going to fix this? What's going on? And then they put a financial, they put community service, they put a written document that says you will attend 90% of the rest of the school year. If not, more consequences will follow. I know that works. I have seen those results. And that is what we are looking for, is that next step. That school, that's not our jurisdiction. We can't force a kid to pay fines. We can't force a kid to have consequences in that result. And that is where sometimes, again, very rare, we're talking about 2,000 kids. We got a list of 17 and maybe only 9 at the end of the day where we would be doing this. But in those 9, where the resources and the time and the commitment is already invested in that child, we want to get them to school so they can have the success to graduate, to move on to wherever their life takes them.
I mean, we've even gone as far as Dr. Plum and I testified at the Capitol in regards to truancy, trying to get, state legislators involved, trying to get things updated. We take our kids very seriously at camp, and we want them to succeed. No matter who they are, we want our kids to succeed. This brings another tool to the toolbox for us to get our kids into class where they need to be. We don't want to leave any kid behind. We really don't. We don't want to leave any child behind. And that's what our goal is. And we'll do whatever it takes to get a child to graduate.
So you have, let's just, say we pass this, that gives you the tool, so they get a citation. Do they automatically go to court? That's my first question. And so if they do, just from a budgetary standpoint from the town, what do we need to budget then if all of a sudden then we'll have 9 tickets and then do we have to pay our attorney
It's,
9?
different as if Deputy Stevenson goes out and writes a traffic violation. Falls under the falls under the same thing. No different. Or if she wrote a parking citation.
So we don't need to be, so will our town attorney need to be present at these to defend the ordinance? Like, do we need to be knowing that?
Yeah, it would be the
No, I
same.
just want, that, but the question was yes or no. Do we need to budget and know that our town attorney will be, because that was some of the feedback I got, is that, we need to know then. Okay, yes. Claire.
So by the time it gets to court, the cost of the ticket should, in theory, cover the cost of our prosecuting attorney and the court costs from using Oconomowoc. If it doesn't, we could always revisit that and determine if either the fee needs to be higher or if we don't want to issue those tickets and remove this ordinance from our book, essentially. But when she writes a ticket, we have to make sure that the costs are covered, and I did do an analysis on our current ticket structure to make sure we're still in the black. So we would do the same thing here.
All right, thank you for clarifying that. Okay.
Some additional questions. What happens if we have a repeat offender after you issue the first citation? How often have you issued more than one to a single person? What's the next step?
I can answer your second question quicker. As you can see in those last two bullet points, there is no opportunity for a second one. It kind of gets dismissed from the court. So we have not been able to go back because the first one really didn't have any teeth or follow through.
In regards to that, if you read through the ordinance, it's a stepping process in regards to that, where the first fine is $50, I believe the second is $130. It's a graduated process. The first one is more or less trying to get the child and the parents' attention. Saying, look, your child needs to be in school. Don't want this to escalate any further. Able to provide whatever services and that through our counselors, through our secretaries, through our social worker. Have a lot of things available, but sometimes you need something. Taking and issuing state charges on something for truancy, in my opinion, at this point, it's too extreme. Something, let's say, got to that point, yeah, we would. I mean, Deputy Catani and I definitely would look at something like that if it was needed. So, you're looking at more or less is, do you have a neglect situation going on? Are there more things? When it comes to truancy, it's not just, hey, we're looking at that overall picture. What's going on at home? Is there things that more that needs to be going on? Those are the things we are looking at as we're going through each and every case that us. And like I said, effort. I'll go to a house multiple times. And child out of bed, come on, get up out of bed, put him in the squad, try him. Even just doing that, especially in Delafield, if coming up in his driveway with a squad, and that actually, and then it gets the neighbors talking, then all of a sudden, we do get results that way. We do. And, we try to do everything we can before that last step. For help. We're looking for support. We're looking for that extra tool in that toolbox when we start getting further.
So if you've already gone to the town to do that, but then this is gonna just enable you to, if you're already doing it, and you're doing that because you can, because the village has one and the schools in the village. This will help you, if you're already doing it.
This adds another tool for it. Because if the child is truant at home, that gives us that tool at home. I had talks with different. Their feeling is that, well, if the child is at school, leaves school, is truant from school that way, or if they live in that community, if the child is at their residence where they're refusing to get up, that's, to them, that was a different story, where they feel that something should be done.
So not unlike the aerator stuff in the lake, right, where state has the rule and the law, and you guys just approved or are approving to suggest to bring it to the municipalities so that there's local control, same thing.
Yep, and
Right,
we
the
can-
stuff is already here, but they need a tighter local control where the deputies that are dealing specifically with the students are able to issue that citation and not someone from the county. I tend to obviously believe you guys are passionate about it and find it important. There's 4 of you here on a Tuesday, at least 4 of you. I don't know if there's anybody else, but at least 4 of you here on a Tuesday night. And that fee structure is $75, $150, $300. So it's not like issuing 9 of those tickets is going to be some sort of money grab for the Kettle Moraine School District or the town of Delafield or anyone else involved with it. So I do believe that you guys are here for, the right reasons of having that tool and ability to kind of give it the one last push, right?
I would just add, I would liken this no different than a speeding ticket. Teenagers are going to push the boundaries. If they know in the back of their mind that there's a chance I might get pulled over on the highway by going 100, they hopefully will think twice. Right now, that's what we're kind of looking for, that at least they will think twice about it and have to stand in front of and talk with a police officer, talk to a judge, someone outside of school control that adds that little extra weight to it that makes them pause and reconsider. And the other thing I would add is when we've had tickets issued from us if kids bring tobacco to school, alcohol, stuff like that, where they all of a sudden are standing in front of a judge. We have a great partnership with those people before that case. So the judge is usually reaching out to us. We're talking about the kid with them. We're asking like, hey, maybe I think it would be really good if this ends up being how this plays out. We have that wonderful partnership between schools and the court system, so that we hopefully in this case would do the same thing, like, hey, like, maybe in lieu of money, maybe the kid signed a contract and force him to be at school, and then there'll be different consequences down the line. One of those things we'd like to.
And that was kind of what the question I had was, so obviously this sounds like a last resort kind of method, right? So you've got 4 citations dismissed. Now that's because the county didn't want to deal with it.
Correct.
Or now when you see from the other municipalities that when they go to like the municipal center in Oconomowoc, is that I guess you kind of already half answered that, right? Like the process is where, hey, just give him a chance, give him a month to show his 80% attendance and we'll drop the ticket. Or is it, they have that ability where you can just like you get a speeding ticket and go and then just showing up and smiling, they'll knock it down a little bit usually. But so that process is obviously available in this scenario as well. So, yeah, again, I appreciate obviously the concern and thorough questions and making sure we're like answering everything and know which direction we're going. I do think it's if what the school administration is saying they need to help to get the little extra oomph over the finish line, I'm happy to have 9-ish more people regularly attending high school. So,
Is anybody
And I-
willing to make a motion?
Well, I'm, in general, I'm fine and for what you're trying to do. I would just ask that we table it or we motion to proceed with just a little bit of wordsmith comparison because of all the other municipalities that the district is in. And we have another whole, the town of Delafield isn't just Kettle Moraine. I just want to be a little more consistent.
Talking
I'm in
about
general.
the ordinance
Or
that's in here?
for the actual wording of our,
That wording was actually written by our attorney.
right,
Yeah.
but. did
Doesn't
he-
get any higher than that.
No, well, I just meant to, I know he
expensive.
wrote it.
Oh, yeah.
And I guess this will be a question for him.
Yeah.
How does this look? How does this fit into what, if Arrowhead comes and has the same question? I just want, what North Prairie, some of the other communities that serve Kettle Moraine, I just want to make sure that I know he wrote that for this meeting today. That's my only thing, is I'd like to just,
I don't believe it would matter. It's if Arrowhead decides to write the ticket, it's gonna be the same process for this, and it shouldn't have any.
Pretty much the exact same ordinance from the town of Merton.
I'm reading, it's pretty much, and that's where I guess I'm getting at. We could put it up on the screen and look at it. I just wanted to make sure that we're not missing something. We shouldn't add something that we didn't, I'm not saying.
Is there something that's specifically concerning you that's different from the town of Merton?
That's what I'd have to really spend a little more time analyzing word to word, and that's what I kind of wanted to hear in general.
Village of Wales had theirs passed in 2016, so there may have been some updates that they haven't included yet in theirs. Town of Waukesha has one. Village of McGuanago was 2011. Village of Pewaukee was 1999, and Village of Vernon was 2002. And those were just the top 5 that I picked.
So nobody's updated it lately.
Right.
I guess that's all, it just seems like we're all in this together. I would think our clerk could reach out to the other ones and, hey, we are looking to do this, this is what we're looking to adopt, so that we're kind of all on the same page. That's all.
And this is pretty much the same model we're going to be talking with the other municipalities. Help us get these into trying to stay consistent. You guys were the first one when Kevin Kubishek was here, her and I were talking. She says, well, I'll take it to the board.
Again, and that's so, I think because we're the first one, I would just like to
Well, we're not the
forward, but
first
just,
one. We're the
that's my
most
motion, is
recent
to move
updated
forward.
one.
My motion is to move forward with the exception of just slowing down to just wordsmith it as we can communicate with our other municipalities. Again, I'm for it, I just wanted to make sure that the wording is exactly like we want. That's what my motion would be.
Can you be more
Or we table
specific
it,
on?
Or we table it, or we just table it and take a little
Or
time
if
to.
there's a motion to-
Take a little time to,
If there's no second, then it would not pass. Is there a second to Terry's motion? Okay,
I'm comfortable.
motion fails. Is there any other motion for this item?
I make a motion to approve the ordinance created and called Section 9.16 of the Town of Delafield Municipal Code to prohibit truancy.
Okay, I have a second.
I'll second it.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
opposed.
Opposed? Okay, noted. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, guys. You bet.
Thank you.
Got the 10th order of business is new business. We've got the consideration of possible action to appoint a new member to the Town Plan Commission to fill the existing vacancy with the appointed member to serve the remainder of the term ending April 30th, 2027. We do have at least a resume, correct?
We have two resumes in the packet for your consideration. Both of these were brought forth to Ed, and we're going to be gone over it this evening. I don't believe Joseph is here, but we do have Chris here tonight if you have any questions for him. This is to fill a vacancy that we currently have on the Plan Commission, and the remainder of the term is listed in the agenda.
Well, if we don't have Joseph here, Chris, would you like to address the board? What's that?
Yep. Yes, sir.
Yes, please.
So I didn't know when I came to bring the trail plan to you a few weeks ago that this position was going to be available. It's just a coincidence.
We didn't know either.
You didn't know either. So, simple story for me is I've been involved in public service for about 20 years, including the last position I held was on the town board. The only reason I left the town board is my job at the time had me traveling a lot, and I got tired of saying I can't attend the meeting. I'll be in Milan this week. So that's an attempted humor. So I resigned from that. I've since retired, so now I do have more time. I'll be around to do this. I have a passion. I was on the City of Delafield Plan Commission for 6 years, and my mentor was Kevin Fitzgerald, who ultimately moved ahead of me to the town and was your head of the Plan Commission for a while. So you can expect a similar way of approaching things. My general philosophy is that the Planning Commission is not a political body. It's about interpreting the rules, making sure that all the rights of everyone is represented. It's your job as the town to take anything that isn't written down and make any judgment calls on those things.
Well, did you invite Joe Orndorff to come did he know he was supposed to come?
It wasn't an invitation, it was just that it was going to be on the agenda at some point in the near future.
But you've been coming because of the trails thing, which is great. Love having people in the audience. And
So the other candidate did know about the opportunity to be here tonight.
He knew that we were looking for someone for the position. I told him we needed his resume. I told him it'd be sometime in the future.
when did he first indicate he was interested in this position?
That was approximately 6 months ago, I would believe.
So he's been in the wings, which I know
Right.
at
That time, there
mentioned-
wasn't an opening.
Right, I knew that he'd
He
mentioned
just
that there were
expressed
people in the
interest.
wings. Yeah. And Chris, when did you indicate you were interested in the position?
Back when you were going to start up a park commission, so however long ago that was, Ed had asked me if I wanted to do that, and I said, no, I would be interested in the planning commission.
Okay, I don't know, how long ago was that? I mean,
Well, I mean, I, obviously you've got some prior experience on it. I think it's important. I think it's great that both people have submitted resumes, and, I mean, you've got reasonable experience and you're here. You've got great experience. You're here. You sure you want to get back into?
well, and I guess my comment is,
Awards?
I feel like, I wish, I know Joe Orndorff personally, not like well, but I do know he's a quality individual and has a ton of
I have
experience, so.
no doubt.
What's that?
I have no doubt.
Yeah, so I feel like if he knew he should have been here, he would have been here, unless just saying that we're going to be reviewing it. So, and Chris, since you're already going to be uber involved with the trail plan, I think I would love to fill the position with Joe because of his wealth of experience and knowing that you're also going to be involved because of the trail plan. So that would be what I would think would be the best fit, just because
And I don't know if you were looking at response, but uber involved would be a huge stretch of what I would need, my involvement would be. It's not going to take that much work.
Okay, but at least we know that you were kind of already going to be our go-to person with that, so
Yes.
that's what I would say. I'm concerned about you that Kevin Fitzgerald was your mentor. I'm very concerned with that, because I do not think he was an asset for the town of Delafield. Matter of fact, it was bad what he did for the town of Delafield, and I feel strongly about that. So that, to me, is a negative. So
Okay.
just so you know. So
Fair
that
enough.
makes me think Joe Orndorff would be a better fit. So that's what I would motion to nominate Joe Orndorff for Plan Commission.
Is there a second?
Or a second for that.
Oh, motion fails.
I'd look for a motion to nominate Mr. Smith.
Make a motion to nominate Joe Smith to the position of.
Chris Smith, you mean? Chris? That's okay. Chris Smith, yeah.
Sorry
Okay.
about that.
No, that's okay.
Let me redo the motion.
said
make
Mr.
a
Smith,
motion
so-
to nominate Christopher Smith to be a member of the Plan Commission.
Okay. Is there a second for that?
A second motion?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No?
Noted. Thank you.
And if I might be permitted, just so you know, really the mentoring of Kevin was mainly in the process, the steps you go through. I have no idea what his interaction was with you, but
Not me personally, it was the
Okay.
entire town of Delafield,
yeah, so
unfortunately.
it's just the things that you're required to do in planning. Okay, thanks.
Sounds good. Thank you, Chris.
And
And
then,
sorry for butchering your first name.
and consideration and possible action regarding the rental of North Shore Park, including the establishment of a rental fee schedule and related conditions of use.
All right, so this item came about a couple weeks ago. We had our DPW go out to cut the grass in the North Shore Park area, and they found that somebody had painted the field and then left garbage behind up to and including used mouth guards in the grass. After trying to figure out who it was, we were able to narrow it down. There was a bit of back and forth about the usage of the park and how it was unclear whether or not they had to actually rent the park to use it, if they were allowed to paint it, and so forth. So what's before you tonight is if you want to rent North Shore Park out. If so, do you want to charge a fee? If you want to charge a fee, what would that be? There's some fee ranges in the memo for you, and then some proposed rules that we would like to see in place in the application for that. We also do have our Park and Recreation Director, Alyssa, here if you have any specific questions on how that would work. And also in the packet is the current field rental information that we would incorporate some of these changes into. Alyssa, did you want to come up and add anything? Okay. Yeah.
independently painting lines and.
They didn't start painting lines until recently. It's a newer team that had come onto the field and wasn't unaware of the rules.
Yeah, I would imagine that we certainly, at the least, need to codify that there is a rental process for that park and to be used. And then certainly open to the input on things like hours and times and, we haven't said what sport, and I'm not intimately familiar with that park as far as exactly how large the whatever field it is that they painted onto that. Does that take up the whole thing? Does it take up a part of the thing? It's like, I think I have a bit of a different opinion if you're limiting the park from literally everybody, but.
So the quote lower part is actually where all the water sits when it rains. So they had to have been using the upper portion of the park, which is a thick fescue that they're actually playing in that we don't mow down short enough to be played for sports. So when they trample on it, it doesn't really grow back either. I'm not sure. I don't know the flag football attire, to be perfectly honest.
They do wear cleats, yeah, they have to.
Yeah.
And they have to wear mouth guards.
And a helmet, too.
We would sprinkle in some sort of different seed to make it a half and half split if we knew that it was going to be actually rented out for field sports.
We should definitely be renting it out, and we should support them in being there. We want them to be there, so.
Yeah, happy to have it used. It's just
But
clearly
following
got to
the
have
rules,
some.
yeah, following the rules is key. I mean, I think we can all probably agree that
Yeah.
having the rules.
So are the proposed rules in the memo satisfactory to the town board, or did you want me to strike anything, or?
Did you come up with those rules, Alyssa?
No, I wrote that.
Okay, I mean, I guess that would just be,
Yeah, they're commensurate with the rules that are around the area for,
Okay.
smaller groups of flag football type play. Package deal? Yeah. Practices? Keep it in line?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and no paint, we have it in here, there shouldn't be any paint.
And paint is,
I get
it's
it.
it's not paint, it's chalk,
Yeah,
right? I
right.
mean, so it's not a permanent impact to the field.
I
It's
would
a,
say though, with all the children's activities, that I see my kids and no one's painting lines, and they're in flag football, they do the cones.
Cones? Yeah, okay.
But obviously, they want to paint, and if we're already letting the other park paint, I guess I'd be. But it's football, they're playing. Okay.
yeah.
Right. So if I'm hearing correctly, there's consensus on $30, which is consistent with our soccer field, and then the deposit is currently $100 still, correct? For the, any field rental, you want to maintain the $100 for the deposit as well?
Because that's what it is other places.
Okay,
Or I would just stay consistent
okay,
across the board.
okay. So I have the notes down if anybody would like to make a motion on that. Right.
And we could look at the football cleats as aeration, right? Every field needs to get aerated every once in a while. Okay,
It's gonna be
That is a Don
over-aerated.
question. He said we're going to apply some different seed, so, yeah. Okay,
So I'll make a motion to approve the establishment of a rental fee schedule and related conditions of use for the rental of North Shore Park.
got it,
second.
got it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We took the sign down, but we're going to put it back up once we incorporate these changes into the application, so. Yeah, yep, sure will. They might, you never know. Yeah,
If it's $30, I mean, it's still a pretty good deal.
yeah.
So, okay. 11th order of business announcements, Lake Country Fire Rescue Board meeting Wednesday, October 8th, 2025, 5 PM. The original meeting on October 2nd did not have a quorum available. The Wisconsin Towns Association Annual Convention, October 12th through the 14th in Baraboo, Wisconsin. The next town board regular meeting is Tuesday, October 14th at 6:30, which will be a budget workshop. Following town board regular meeting will be October 28th, which will have at 6:30 budget public hearing, and the November 11th regular town board meeting will be budget adoption.
My goal is to hopefully not have any special meetings for the budget. If for some reason we can't get the business done for the budget workshop on the 14th, we can do a second budget workshop on the 28th and then do the public hearing and budget adoption both on the 11th. So I just want to put that out there.
Okay, wonderful. Look for a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion is
Adjourned.
adjourned, 7:21. Thank you.
How did it feel, Joe?
Weird.
Did you get rushed?
No.